Good morning, everyone. My name is Caitlin Green. I'm 23 years old and I'm from Dublin, if you haven't guessed by the accent. And I'm in my second year here at Holy Family Mission. When I look back on my life so far, I can see that God's hand was in it from the beginning. I was born at 28 weeks, 3 months early, and doctors had told my dad that the outcome looked bleak and it was likely neither myself or my mum would make it. He was actually told to prepare for 2 funerals before my mum was brought to theatre. Miraculously, we did both make it. I was born at only 2 pounds 1 ounce, less than half the weight of a full-term child. I came on in leaps and bounds. I fought every day until I was strong enough to be brought home to my parents and my big brother. I was brought home with great joy on Christmas Eve. Well, with great joy for most. My brother says he would still have preferred a puppy. At home growing up, we didn't really practice. We went to Mass occasionally. I did attend a Catholic primary and secondary school. In primary school, I would be first to put my hand up to read at Mass and always had questions when the priest visited our classroom. When I moved on to secondary school, I studied religious education for my junior and leaving cert. I was always really interested in the Catholic faith, but I felt like I was the only one. I never spoke to any of my friends about these feelings for fear of being judged. I always wanted to fit in. I had to dress like the other girls I knew, act like them, be around boys. I went out on Saturday nights drinking with friends and spent the whole of Sunday regretting the night before. On one occasion I completely blacked out on my kitchen floor and my parents had to carry me to bed. I was always trying to fill a void, but I was searching in all the wrong places. In 2015, I was chosen as one of 10 students from my school to go to Lourdes. This is where I first met Father Patrick. I met fantastic young people my own age who shared the same interests as me and had the courage to practice their faith without caring about being judged for it. I saw in them a willingness to fight for their faith, and some of the fellas weren't half bad either. I wanted that confidence too, especially because in the months beforehand, things were becoming darker and darker in my own mind. My head would not quieten down at night, so I couldn't sleep, and in the mornings I was exhausted, and there were mornings I wished I hadn't have woken up at all. This led to me being diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and only after beginning to look into my faith after returning from Lourdes, I put it to the back of my mind once again, and I never thought I'd come back to it. But God had different plans. I battled every day with my mind, and some days I did not think I would see the next. I went from counsellor to counsellor and felt like I got nowhere, so I struggled on my own, putting on a happy front to family and friends, even though I thought if I disappeared, nobody would even notice. In April of 2018, I returned to Lourdes and I fell in love all over again. When I came home though, I quickly discovered that not everyone had such positive thoughts about Lourdes or the Catholic faith. I was always slagged for my faith. My friends would come up to me and say, "Why are you such a holy Joe? Go back to the convent." And they call me Sister Caitlin. Coming to Holy Family didn't really help that cause. It was then I had to decide to fight and live my faith or to stop practicing. In 2019, I helped at a faith camp in Mitchelstown in County Cork. The faith camp was amazing. It was a town hall full of 120 primary school aged wild smiling children and lots of leaders my age who were all so excited. I went to help and serve the children, but little did I know how life-changing that week would be for myself. I met Father Patrick, who I'd met in Lourdes in 2015 again, and he told me about Holy Family Mission. And when I first heard about it, I didn't think it was going to be for me. I actually said, "That sounds nice, you won't catch me either, Scarlet." A few months passed when out of the blue, one of my friends from Mitchelstown got in contact and asked me if I would be interested in a visit to Holy Family Mission. I reluctantly went to visit for a weekend in January 2020. I can't really explain the feeling that I got when I walked through the doors here, but it was like the feeling I get every year when I go to Lourdes. I just felt at peace and safe. I was still adamant I would never come here because I knew people would not understand and I would be slagged by the whole of Dublin. But I went to adoration on the Saturday night. It was my first time kneeling before Jesus, and even though I didn't know what I was doing, it felt peaceful. I didn't know what to expect, but the desire to apply for a year here was put on my heart. All I could hear in my mind was that I needed to apply. The following morning I asked for an application form. I applied, and by some miracle I was accepted. Since I started here in September 2020, I have really found myself, and more importantly found the missing piece of my life, which is most definitely my faith in Jesus. I am continuously developing a good prayer life, which is something I never had before. I never realised the importance of taking time out of each day to spend with the Lord. I can completely be myself here, and don't have to put on a front or pretend to be someone I'm not. I've grown in many ways, and I've also gained self-confidence. This time last year, everything about the faith was so new to me. I really had to learn a lot of things, but I was and continued to be open to it. I was certain I would only do 1 year here, but the opportunity to come back for a second year arose, and I felt really called to apply, so I did. And I was accepted, and I feel privileged to walk alongside the first years this year and support them in any way I can. When I look back on my journey, it is clear to see that even though growing up I didn't have a relationship with God, He has never abandoned me, and He has always been there, guiding me, and for that I am truly grateful. Thank you all for listening to my testimony today and for supporting Holy Family and our mission and helping people like me discover who Jesus is. We will be keeping you all in our prayers, and please keep us in yours. God bless.